Hello friends, Barbara here. I'm really passionate about today's message. You know I always want to talk about hormone balance, but once you're hormonally balanced, you may not feel good because you have another problem, and that problem is called adrenal fatigue. What is it? Do you have it? Are you stressed and tired, no vitality, feeling overwhelmed? Do you sigh a lot and kind of wonder, how you're going to make it through the day? That's adrenal fatigue. It's been said that 80% of Americans suffer from adrenal fatigue and the other 20% are in denial. Why? Because we've overworked those important glands. But doctors don't seem to recognize it, and it's my belief that is because there is no drug to fix adrenal fatigue. You need to have nourishing supplements. And so the doctors will send you away as a complainer or a whiner. They don't want to deal with you, tell you to go home. But no, it's real. You weren't dreaming this. Now, first of all, let's talk about what are the adrenal glands. They're little glands that are located over the kidneys. They're small but important. They secrete the hormones of adrenaline, cortisol, progesterone, DHEA, estrogen, testosterone, all the things you need to feel vital and energetic. But they're the glands of stress. They are the first ones to fail under stressful conditions, which we all have. Now, you want cortisol to be high in the morning and low at night, because in the morning you want to get out zippity-doo-dah and go through your day, and at night you want to rest. So cortisol is a good hormone in normal amounts. But if cortisol is always high, it burns out your adrenal glands. And daily stressors add up over time. You might say, Barbara, I'm not that stressed, but if you're stressed every single day, your adrenals will become tired and eventually exhausted, and you feel horrible. Now, I have a questionnaire that you can write for or email me, and you can take it and you can see what degree of adrenal fatigue you may have. And I want you to have this. It's so valuable. But let me tell you, there's a lot of symptoms on here, but the most frequent symptoms: you wake up tired, you're lethargic at different times of the day, your energy might come in spurts and then you crash. You can feel helpless, sad, blue, your hair is falling out, you're gaining weight, you have low libido, and as I said, you're frequently sighing. Life is just a lot for you to handle. Well, that's adrenal fatigue. And the aggravating factors, and listen to these, see if you have them: constant life or work stress, unhappy relationships. Who knew a relationship could have a bodily negative effect? But yes, it does. Severe emotional trauma. Did someone close to you die? That can lead to adrenal fatigue. Any kind of head trauma, loss of your stable job, and a change in your financial status. There's a lot more on my handout, but those are the main ones. And the people who are vulnerable to adrenal fatigue are perimenopause, menopause, and andropause, because that's when we're relying on the adrenal glands to make our hormones because the ovaries have shut down and maybe the testes aren't doing quite their job. So we're relying on the adrenals and they're not up to par. So we're susceptible. College students, single parents, an unhappily married person, unhappy and stressful work conditions. You're self-employed, you're struggling, your business is new, you're susceptible. Workaholics are also right at the top of the list. But here's Barbara's good news. Adrenal fatigue can be reversed and prevented. Don't you wait. I like to talk about the adrenals as two little workhorses, and they're working and working and working and working for you. And then they're now overwhelmed, and they fall down in the middle of the road. And you go up and you go, little horses, you need to get up. Come on, come on. You give them some coffee. You give them some energy drinks. You're whipping them. You're going, we can make it. Go, go, go. They're not getting up. You have to feed them and nourish them. And that's the answer. So if you're perimenopause or menopausal, 3 months of a good adrenal support is recommended. So you don't, if you're not in adrenal fatigue, you can prevent it. Dr. James Wilson, who I call the America's adrenal doctor, but he also travels all over the world, has developed wonderful products that can turn your life around. For mild to moderate adrenal fatigue, there's a product called the Super Adrenal Stress Formula. I can't be without this. I love, love, love it. I actually went into panic because I went on the shelf one day to get one for myself, and my staff wouldn't let me have it. They said, oh no, these are for the customers. Wasn't happy. They finally relented. Oh, separate nutrients. DHEA increases well-being and energy. Pregnenolone, 25 milligrams at night. Don't go overboard on pregnenolone, but I love pregnenolone. It's a great hormone. You only need 25 milligrams. And phosphatidylserine will help lower that high evening cortisol so you can sleep and relax, because that's important. Now, if you take the questionnaire and it turns out that you have severe adrenal fatigue, you need to rebuild your adrenal glands. And there's something called Adrenal Rebuilder. It's made from the glandulars of bovine cows and sheep, let's say it that way. And it's for deplenished adrenals. You take it daily for 3 to 4 months. If you're severe, I'd take it for a year. The time frame to heal your adrenals, and you can do it. Mild, 6 months, maybe to 9 months. Don't even count the cost. You're going to feel so much better. And Dr. Wilson keeps his products affordable. Moderate adrenal fatigue, 12 to 18 months, and severe, 12 to 24. But when those little glands are healed and your little horses get back up, you will stop struggling and you will feel like yourself again. I want that for you. Adrenal fatigue is an epidemic, even in children. And by the way, you can crush some of these supplements up and use them for children. Stop adrenal fatigue in its tracks for you and your family and your loved ones. I was at a conference with Dr. Wilson, and he had a private lunch for people who were interested in going deeper into this syndrome. And at the luncheon, he told me that he had treated a woman who had been to 37 different doctors. Now, you call me, and you know I love to take your calls, and I talk to you, and you've been to many doctors, and you say, Barbara, the doctor told me there was nothing, and he didn't, my tests, and well, they weren't testing cortisol levels, and they weren't listening to you carefully about the symptoms of adrenal fatigue. And this woman, no one ever told her it could be her adrenals. Dr. Wilson treated her, and in 6 months, she was a new woman, and her family, who he said had moved out, lock, stock, and barrel, moved back in and threw a welcome home party for her because she was back to her old self. And I have a college son, and he's on a regimen of good adrenal support for the past 3 years. He notices the difference. My husband and I do not miss a day of our adrenal support. It's too important. I want you energetic until you go home to be with the Lord. And by the way, if you have a thyroid problem and you're hypothyroid and you're on thyroid medications and they keep upping your meds but you still don't feel better, that's because if the adrenals are sluggish and they're not treated, the thyroid medicine will make you feel worse because the thyroid's trying to rev up your system and the little adrenals can't keep up. So you want to treat adrenal fatigue first. Then your thyroid meds will work better and you will feel great. This is Barbara wishing you better adrenal health. And please write for my more detailed information. I have the adrenal fatigue handout. You can see it's multiple pages. It's here for you, free. I want you to have it. Don't forget the questionnaire because you'll find out what degree of adrenal fatigue you have. You go forth, you take care of yourself, and you're going to be energetic into your 90s and beyond.